Hey everybody, and welcome to BK's Bullets. Today we're talking Batman number 24. Bruce and Selina are getting married. Hey everybody, and welcome back to BK's Bullets. Today we're going to talk about the newest thing to happen to Bruce Wayne Batman. He proposed to Selina Kyle. Yes, he actually did it. This is in Batman number 24 of the Rebirth volume. It's written by Tom King. It's got art by David Finch and Clay Mann, and it's a very good issue. But I'm okay with the idea of Bruce and getting married. I think my biggest problem with the issue, it's a really good issue, very well drawn, very well written. The colors look great, even though you have two completely different art styles. My problem with this issue is that it just doesn't feel like Batman has earned it in this run of Batman. So far in this Batman run, written by Tom King, which has been very good, you've had Batman discover these two heroes, Gotham and Gotham Girl. You know, one of them dies, and then the next two story arcs are talking about saving Gotham Girl for some kind of, I don't know if it was an unknown reason or it's a reason that hasn't been brought up since Batman decided to do it. It might be just out of the goodness of his heart or something like that, but we're not quite 100% sure why Bruce is going to such extreme lengths to save this person, much less train them and have them be like his new sidekick, even though we have Duke, who's running around in a yellow costume without a code name still. So Tom King has done, he had the first couple issues with David Finch, then we got Mikhail Yanin with I Am Bane, and then we went back to David Finch again with where Bane came to Gotham and, all this stuff over the Psycho Pirate mask, and then we jumped over to the Button, and Catwoman has been in some of the issues. She was part of Batman's quote-unquote Suicide Squad to go to Santa Prisca, but she wasn't really talking to Batman that much. We had a whole issue with the Bat and the Cat. We've had like a romance issue here and there, but she has not been a major player in the run. So that's why I'm kind of saying it feels a little weird to have this happen. I know we're 24 issues into the run, but it feels weird to have it happen because there hasn't been any build-up on this particular issue since the beginning of Tom King's run. Now, you cannot say that there hasn't been any build-up at all because Batman and Catwoman have been dating or not dating or whatever the heck they're doing, just being friends with benefits for ages. The most recent example that I can think of when this was kind of like resuscitated was in the Hush storyline by Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee. And that was way back in 2003. Here's a cover of it behind me. Right? So it just feels like this has been a very long process in the making, and I'm totally down with the idea because I'm down for characters changing. I just don't feel like this particular writer has earned the ability to pull this off. Now, will it happen? We don't know. We don't even know if Selina said yes yet. The final page was just Bruce getting down on one knee and proposing. The other thing that was weird about the issue is that it does something that Tom King has done in a lot of these issues where there's some overarching narration. And in this issue we have two artists. We have Clay Mann doing the conversation with Batman and Gotham Girl during the daytime, no less, talking about why Batman does what he does, his motivations, and Gotham Girl saying that he should be happy. And all that is pulling back from the last issue of The Button, which I'm going to do a second episode on as well. This is kind of an epilogue to that, where Thomas Wayne's kind of ghost or person in whatever universe they crossed over into with the Speed Force, him and Flash, told Bruce not to be Batman anymore. Basically, don't do it for me. Do what makes you happy. You deserve to be happy. And that's kind of been weighing on Bruce a little bit over the last two issues or so. But in this issue, I guess it's supposed to be something that Bruce is doing because that's what he wants to make him happy, but the narration and the conversation with Gotham Girl that Bruce is having during the daytime doesn't really allude to this at all. You're reading Batman and Catwoman swinging from rooftop to rooftop and reading some narration boxes until they get to the rooftop, and then in between that whole thing, Bruce is talking to Gotham Girl in sequences drawn by Clay Mann. So it's a little weird to read because you're switching art styles and also switching from narration boxes versus word balloons. But it's a very good issue. I just don't feel like it's earned it at all in this particular run. I feel as if we had started with Catwoman. Even if she had been part of the team in Detective Comics, this might have felt a little bit more earned or streamlined, because then you could say, oh, well, this, their relationships progressed over the past, year in Detective Comics, so this is okay, this feels earned, this feels right, where that hasn't happened at all, and she's been in a couple issues of this current Batman run, and that's about it. So I'm down with the idea. I'm down with characters changing. I don't think they'll really go through with it, but it's interesting to see where it goes. Another interesting tidbit is that this was spoiled on a Tuesday, of all days. Now, right now in the US of A, comics come out on Wednesdays, and if you get your books digitally, they'll deliver them to you, make them available to you overnight. So I woke up Wednesday morning. First thing I do before I get in the shower is make sure to download my issues so I don't forget, and then I'll read them at work during lunch or something like that. But anyway, this was spoiled on a Tuesday. The issue had been delivered to retailers, and I guess they were trying to preempt somebody working at a comic shop leaking what was going on. But it was just kind of a very Marvel thing to do from DC. DC typically hasn't spoiled anything for its readers. Marvel typically will do that in advance of something big happening. When you knew Hydra Cap was coming a little bit in advance, or Secret Empire, or some other things that were spoiled. Somebody's death in the latest event for Marvel's typically spoiled in USA Today for some godforsaken reason. In attempts to get comic readers, I guess, into the stores the following day to then buy the issues. This strikes as a little weird to me because comics, they don't work that way. Retailers order a set amount, for their store. They have, 5 regular customers buying Batman or whatever the title in question is, and so they'll order those 5, and then they'll probably order a couple for the shelf, for people to come in and pick up. Now, I'm sure Batman sells very well across most comic stores, and I'm sure that they had a lot of extra issues, on the shelf for people to come in and pick up. But if this was, chances are, if you weren't reading Batman and you wanted to read this issue, or if you watch this video and you want to go read this issue, going to a comic shop in the first week, it's probably going to be all sold out. So what does that leave you to do? It leaves you to do one of two things. You can either A, go to whatever comic shop you frequent, or the one you've decided that you're going to go back to, and ask them for a reorder, right? And they'll have a second printing out within probably a week or two, maybe hopefully less than a month, and then you can pick it up and read the issue there. Or you can decide to forego being a patron of the comic shop, which I know a lot of people are like, oh no! But you can also go to Comixology and buy it digitally. Now that's how I've switched over to fully digital comics. I do not regret it. It works for me and my lifestyle. I don't want to have all the things, all the issues cluttering stuff up. But other people want to hold it in their hand. I've gotten over that. I still have a bunch of trades over here on this side of the wall, and I haven't touched them in years, honestly, because I read so much stuff digitally on my iPad. So that's really the only two ways to get this issue if it is indeed sold out. You might be lucky and find one in a comic shop, and good job there, you found the right comic shop. Or maybe that guy just over-ordered for what he could actually sell. So I think if you're interested in reading this issue, please go to a comic shop first. Try and find one that has the issue. These items are not returnable. The retailers lose money on them if they don't sell. I don't think this issue in particular is going to be a problem for most retailers because of this big thing that happened. But please try that first and then go to digital. We want to keep the shop owners alive, even though I don't even practice what I'm preaching here. It's just something that's probably in good taste of being a comic book fan. So that's it for BK's Bullets. Looking forward to Batman issue number 25 and beyond. We have the War of Jokes and Riddles coming from Tom King, where it's the Joker versus the Riddler. I'm not quite sure if this takes place in present day or if it's a flashback. It might be both. So looking forward to that, and I will see you guys in the funny pages.